Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about Duke. This is Duke. Duke is 17 and a half years old. He was a foster fail that I picked up a long time ago. Not just are we going to be talking about having a 17-year-old dog and all the supplements, but also living with a senior dog is really challenging. I think people don't talk about it enough. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about all the supplements and everything that we give him. And we're also going to be talking about how Duke is doing and the day-to-day and like all the products that we use in order to keep him healthy and spry and honestly as comfortable as possible for as long as possible, because that's really all we want for our dogs. I feel like that's the most important goal for all of them. Recap. Products, Duke, and all the things dog. This summer was honestly a once in a lifetime adventure where the three dogs and Ian and I actually took the most incredible trip, and we took the RV with all three of them, so 5 total, and we took an adventure all the way from Florida to Montana, the furthest point. We started in the Grand Tetons, we went to Yellowstone, then we went to Glacier, and then we went to Badlands, and honestly, there's just so much to share about that it could be its own episode. So we're gonna focus on just a quick recap and how incredible that journey was, but also the challenges that we face with 3 dogs. And a lot of it is going to be talked about in the other episode, but truly it was just a lot of finagling and a lot of learnings from that. So more on that, but also with Duke, it was really tricky because Duke is 17 and a half, and having him going through all of that, going on hikes and things like that just wasn't feasible. Not only is Duke here 17, but he's got a couple of things going on. He's, first of all, very healthy, very happy. He's calm right now, but this little guy will run outside whenever he gets excited about seeing something, or he can't really hear as much anymore, which is actually kind of a blessing because he used to be scared to death of thunderstorms. And that is not the case anymore because he can't hear them. So I know it's a little bit sad when you think about him not being able to hear things, but at the same time, he's so much happier because he can't hear the things that used to scare him, the thunderstorms, the motorcycles. He's chilling. Most of the time he spends on his couch. So a little bit about Duke. Again, 17 and a half, and we don't know what he is. I haven't done the wisdom panel or any of those little things yet, and maybe I will soon, just because I should soon, honestly. But he is possibly rat terrier. He has a lot of rat terrier behaviors, so he's got to be a mix of that. Some people have said, some vets have said that he might be part Chihuahua. Some other vets have said that he might have healer because of the spots. But truly, I think rat terrier is the predominant one. He likes to burrow. He loved to chase squirrels when he could see them. Now he has a harder time, but he still will chase a lizard on a good day. The other thing is that Duke has a collapsing trachea, which happens a lot with smaller dogs. And what it means is that his little throat trachea situation starts to kind of bend a little bit, so it's not the healthy circle that it should be. It's more collapsed. He's still fine, he breathes fine, everything's good, but it is something that I have to be aware of. So some of the things that means is, number one, with a collapsed trachea, you don't want them to get too overheated, and we live in Florida, so it's kind of something that I try to avoid. And another part of that is that I don't want to intubate him for anything, so anesthesia and everything. Some doctors will allow it, some vets will allow it, but I just don't really feel that comfortable doing it. And he's 17 and a half. He's good. Other things that he has going on are liver, kidney, and thyroid. The thyroid's the most recent one, but as of 3 or 4 years ago, he got diagnosed with some kidney value issues. Now the kidneys, I did a couple of things with, and with all the research, we actually ended up changing his food. And the food is not the kibble stuff, the air dry anymore. Now what we use is gently cooked, and I use gently cooked because, number one, I think it's easier on his stomach. I know a lot of people have the raw diets and they look like they're pretty healthy for certain breeds, but for Duke and for me, it worked out much better to have the gently cooked. And a big part of the reason for that is because the gently cooked is just easier for him to digest. He never grew up on a raw diet. He grew up on kibble. I didn't know better. I'm learning. I'm always learning. I know we all are, and we just do our best. So that's where we're at right now. We've got him on gently cooked and a lot of supplements. Starting with, and this is what we're talking about today, are all these little supplements. This is his kidney health. Kidney health is great because this one is a supplement. It's Dr. Harvey's, and it honestly I've been using this now and a gently cooked food for 3 years, and his kidney values have stayed stable, which is incredible. I didn't think that they can get better according to the doctor or the vet, but they did say that they're stable and to continue doing what I'm doing. So between the gently cooked, this, and I hydrate the food always, whether it's with kefir, or if it is with water or bone broth. Any three will work really well. When we were traveling, for example, it was just so much easier to use water because we were on the road, and that's what was available to us. But there were times that I actually did the bone broth. And I have the powdered bone broth, and there's so many options out there that it really is genuinely up to what's easily accessible to you, as well as what's most affordable. Duke is on that food. I have the girls on something else, but we're talking about Duke today. So let's focus on this little guy. So kidneys, those are the two things I do for his kidneys. Hydration's huge. There's a little bit more details that I'll probably put under here somewhere, but essentially is the fact that with kidneys, you want low phosphor and low something else, which I cannot remember right now, but those are the important factors. And I'm not a vet, I'm not a doctor, I'm just someone that does a crap ton of research to make sure that whatever I'm giving my dogs is the best option. There is one more thing that I do for his kidneys, and I have a vet that I follow, a very holistic vet that I follow online, and Dr. Amy something. I can't believe I'm getting this wrong, but I will share that handle as well at the bottom of this video. Something that this doctor has said is like treats like, and that means kidneys treat kidney, liver treats liver. So what I do for Duke specifically is, knowing that he has kidney and liver issues, I get all of the homemade treats from a local farmer's market person. And I also buy a couple of other ones. I'll share that as well, but there's products that I really do trust and believe in that sound like those products are human grade or sourced from the right spots. I know that they're sourced well and the ingredients are high quality. So I give him liver and kidney treats. So that's the other thing that I do for his kidneys. Now, talking about his liver, I give him this. Now, this is a prescription from the vet, but Denamarin Advanced. I think that this has made a huge difference for his liver values. And it's, again, prescribed by my vet. That's a very holistic. They do both. They do holistic and traditional veterinary medicine, but I like that they balance the two. And that's really what I believe in. And again, everyone's entitled to their own set of research, and whatever you do is what's gonna work best for you and your dog. But for me, this is the one that I really like. And this is a combination, right? Because the kidneys are all supplements. But this is a liver, actually, it is a liver supplement. So I stand corrected. However, it is prescription, so you cannot just get it over the counter. It's something that you actually have to go and get a prescription for. So this is what I use for his liver values. And then we have thyroid issues. Now he is he has hypothyroid, not hyper. So it's a lower thyroid value. And something that has worked for him quite a bit, because he's had this, and we do blood work with him every 3 to 6 months. He's 17. And as we know, most animals age much more quickly than people. So that's what we try and do with him, and just do the follow-up as often as possible, because 3 months for him could be like a year for us. So anyways, this is what Duke is on for his thyroids. Also standard process. I think this is also prescription, so it's kind of hard to just get it on over the counter, but it helps with the thyroid gland supplement. This is incredible. It really has made a big difference with him. I think I can see it on the regular, and because again, he's just getting more and more active, which is crazy. And those months that we had in the summer in the RV, he would jump out of that thing sometimes on his own, which was dangerous, but he would do it and he had a great time. So I want to keep doing the things that I think are working. And another one that I think works for all 3 of my dogs that I'm obsessed with is ultra oil. So I'm obsessed with this ultra oil. They also make a joint one, but I honestly truly believe that this has made a huge difference in all 3 of my dogs' lives. And that's just based on 3-4 years of taking it. Not me. 3 or 4 years of the dogs taking it. I don't have anything besides my own experiences with it, but it really has made a big difference with the dogs. Their skin, their coat, they're not as itchy. I know that he has some allergy issues and there's a lot that needs to go behind that, but I do think that this has helped quite a bit. And then for him, just because I know he's a little bit shaky, he's old, we've put him on waffles. So he's on this advanced joint supplement. I'm considering putting our 6-year-old dog on it as well. And I don't know about the 1.5-year-old. I'm gonna do a little bit more research there. But at the moment, this is what I give Duke. Now, it seems like a lot, but I think it's working for him. And all I want is to have him live his happiest, healthiest life for as long as possible. It's quality of life for me, for these dogs, because they're my family. So I really take care of them as much as possible. Duke even got a bath today so that he could be camera ready in case he chose to hang out with me, and he did. So let's round of applause for Duke. He's done a great job today. Now, another couple of things that I want to talk about are senior dogs are tough, and I think people don't talk much about it, but having a senior dog is difficult. And I think that we need to create a space to be able to talk about it and actually get it off your chest, but it is friggin' hard. The amount of times that I have to clean up dog poop off the ground because I think he just doesn't even realize he's done it is insane. Twice today, for example. It's a tough thing to do because I love him so much, but I can also be just as frustrated. It can be both. Because there are times where I just cleaned the entire house and I turn and he's peed on the bed. That's not great. It's not fun, but it's reality. So that's something else that I wanted to kind of mention because I think it is important and I don't hear a lot about it. The frustration really that comes with it. That doesn't mean that you love them any less, but it is frustrating. It's hard. And I know that every day is pretty much a gift at this point because he's an old man. His breath smells like death. I don't know what is in there, but I think a big part of it is being able to let that frustration out, obviously never on them, but just talking about it too is helpful. Story time. So this is a story of a little pup named Duke. When he was about 3 or 4 years old, he ran into some people in a yard that he was wandering through. He was terrified. These people were in his face, trying to pick him up, getting all up in his business. Well, after a hot dog and a half, Duke thought, hey, these people have food. I don't trust them at all, but they've got some real good food. So Duke decided that he was gonna trust 1 or 2 of them for now and see where it took him. That was how we found Duke. He was wandering around in my mother's backyard in Miami. Now, my mom lives in an area called Horse Country, which is pretty cool. It is not Redlands. It is not that far south. It is in Miami, but it is mostly nurseries and the farms. Now, these farms have a lot of rat terriers because they help with the rat problem. Because yes, these farms have rats. So they'll have cats or they'll have dogs, but when I found him and the person I was dating at the time had given him a full hot dog, we were able to bring him in. And our thought was, cool, we saved this dog, let's get him to his farm. After a whole day of trying to go from farm to farm to farm to see if any of these people owned this little guy, we realized that we had just picked up a stray. He was homeless. And I already had a dog and my ex had a dog. That's 2 dogs enough. Not too many. Each one of us had one. Perfect. But we were just graduating and working on new jobs. We did not have the mental capacity for another dog. Unless you're me. So, long story short, we did a whole foster situation with this guy. I took care of him. I took him to the vet. I did everything that I could in my power and tried to find him a home. And I did. For about a couple of months, I had found him a temporary home, which was hopefully going to be a permanent home. But this home kept their dogs outside, and it made it kind of difficult because he kept running away. That wasn't going to work for me. I didn't believe in outdoor dogs. I don't know if people still do. I think they do, but that was not for me or for him. He kept running away and running away. So it ended up being me going back to pick him up from the home that I thought he had to the home that he should have had. And he became mine. That was, let's do some math here, 13 years ago-ish. Once I had failed foster Duke, I ended up keeping him, obviously, and teaching him how to be a dog. I had a rescue at the time already, Libby. That was my soul dog. And she kind of trained him and taught him a lot, mostly how to cuddle and how to be a dog in that regard. But we had other friend dogs that taught him how to be a dog, how to play catch, how to run after things. And little by little, he came out of his shell. And it was so cool to watch because he was so different when we first got him to how he was years later. Even a year in, he just became a totally different dog. So here we are, 13 years later, and he's still doing really well, still going strong, still kind of chasing lizards. The squirrels are kind of a retired thing, but best decision, best fail of my life. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you on the next one. P.S. We have dogs. He's happy to be here.